Hi, Rich Merritt here with Digital Combustion, and today we're going to talk about the file not found error. And the most common cause of this problem is when files get moved. Right now I've got a simulation open and I've got a few folders showing, so I want to illustrate how this ends up happening. So I've got this little simulation. If we look at it, I've called it 123 Main Street, and I've just got a single column of smoke, a little bit of damage to the building, and that's it. So it's a pretty simple simulation, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll resave it, and I've saved it in a folder, and I'm going to just overwrite the same name and select it, and now I've saved that. Just to let you know what we have on here, I had created a folder called residential, and I put this one picture, this house one JPEG, in that folder, and that's over here in my custom pictures, and the library is in this custom library folder. So that's where I've kind of saved everything, and then I want to illustrate what happens if things get messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of Fire Studio, and now we're going to go over to my custom libraries. That's where I put that library, and you can see I made that library. It's called residential.lbr, and I've put it, that's where that library that we just saw on that list is living. And so right now I'm going to go ahead and move this to another folder. Now I've just put it within this folder that I've aptly named wrong folder. So let's go ahead and start Fire Studio up again. And you're going to see immediately we've got an error comes up. And so under my desktop custom libraries residential library, it's saying it can't find it, it's gone. And so if I close this by hitting the L, I close this log, and I want to go ahead and open up that simulation that I made. Let's go ahead and open it up, and there it is, the 123 Main Street. And now when I open it, it says file not found, and now it's telling me it can't find the residential picture called house 1 because that was buried within that residential library. And so you can see we've got this file not found showing because it can't find that picture. And so the problem is once you save a simulation, it makes a map of where that library is and where it's kept. And so if you keep it on the desktop like I've shown here, which is the worst place to put it, we always recommend that you don't put it on the desktop. I've just done it here just because it's a lot easier to illustrate what happens. You'll get these file not found because now it's looking for that folder or that library that now no longer exists because it was sitting on the desktop and now it's somewhere else and it can't find it. So let's go ahead and exit out of here, and I'm going to go back into my wrong folder, and there's that custom library folder, and I'm going to drag it back onto the desktop. And so if we look inside the custom library folder, there it is. And now if we open up Fire Studio, we don't get that error to begin with because it looks initially to see if there's any libraries missing, and so now that that library is there, it found it. So let's go ahead and open up our simulation, the 123 Main Street, and there it is. So everything works fine. So you can see that just by moving one of your libraries that's on that list, if you move it somewhere else after you've saved a simulation that's pointing to it, you're going to get that file not found. So the best thing to do is for one, don't do what I did here. You don't want to put it on your desktop. You always want to put your libraries underneath. What we like to do is underneath documents, and I've said this in a couple other the videos we've made. Fire Studio creates a folder automatically called Fire Studio 7, and then underneath that there's a folder called Data. There's some other folders there that you can take a look at. We recommend that you create your folders and subfolders and put them here. You know, if you look under my data, I've got all sorts of different folders that I've created there, and that's where I keep all my different things. And so if you're moving things around, like if you finally, you know, decide to do some cleanup on your computer and you have things on your desktop, a lot of times it's very tempting to let me clean that up and I'll put those somewhere else, and that's where we start running into problems. So if you put it under Fire Studio 7 and underneath that data folder somewhere in a subfolder, at least you're you're going to be a lot more safe as far as not wanting to move that or delete that on accident. So hopefully that'll help some of you out that are having those errors, and it'll explain a little bit why you have them. Just remember, file management is going to help you, and it's going to go a long way in keeping everything organized, especially when you start making a lot of simulations and down the road you've got 20, 30, 40, 100 simulations. You really need to start at the beginning when you first start making them and keep them well organized. Hope that helped you. Again, this is Rich Merritt with Digital Combustion, and we'll see you on the next tutorial. Thanks.